Okay, we're going to go ahead and get started here. We are going to take a look at post-rotation archetypes. We have Mew VMAX and Giratina VSTAR today. We're going to go ahead and start with Mew VMAX. Mew VMAX loses very little to rotation. Its biggest loss is quick ball, but we think we found a decent way to mitigate it. It's obviously not a perfect replacement, but we'll talk about it when we hit the card.
Okay. So starting off the list, we have 4 copies of Genesect V.
I know this is a surprise to everyone who's ever played Mew, but Genesect is a pretty decent card in Mew, if you weren't aware.
And then we have 4 copies of Mew V. This is just to get into the 3 copies of Mew VMAX that we're playing. You can also use the Psychic Leap Attack, copy it with Cross Fusion Strike, that's an option. And then we have Meloetta.
So we are choosing to electing rather to play the Fusion Strike build today. We may go back later and try a double turbo version of the deck, but for now we are using the Fusion Strike build.
We have 3 copies of Boss's Orders for gusting. 3 copies of Elisa Sparkle to make sure we can get fusion energy from the deck onto our Pokemon. 1 copy of Roxanne. 1 copy of Serena for extra gusting / discard. We have 4 Battle VIP Pass to search out, make sure we can search out these Pokemon on our first turn to make sure we draw cards with Genesect. Then we have 4 copies of Chromatic. That's to make sure that we can get rid of access or items from our hands, such as access Battle VIP passes. 4 copies of Power Talbot. Our Fusion Strike Pokemon do 30 more damage, so that's good. 4 copies of Ultra Ball to thin out our hand, draw more cards with Genesect, search out Pokemon. And 3 copies of Feather Ball. So now, this will be our replacement for Quick Ball. Of course, you may be asking, why not Nest Ball? Why Feather Ball over Nest Ball? Well, you can burn Feather Ball with a full bench.
Yeah, so not only can you burn Feather Ball with a full bench, you can get a Mew VMAX with it too. So even though you can't get a Genesect and you can't get the Meloetta, you can burn it if you need to, which allows you to thin your hand for Genesect plays, basically. So if you need to draw cards with Genesect, you're going to be able to do that because of Feather Ball. Whereas Nest Ball in your hand, if it's there, you have a full bench, you're stuck. You can't thin your hand down unless you have something like Chromatic or an Ultra Ball, which means you're less likely to be drawing off of Genesect.
We have 2 copies of Lost Vacuum to remove Path to Peaks. We have 2 copies of Switch Card to make sure that we can switch out of Genesect or Muse after we use Technoblast. And just an extra switch out with Escape Rope. 2 copies of Choice Belt to make sure we're hitting numbers on V Pokemon. 2 Forest Seal Stone.
Now something that's very worth noting right now, because we are playing a post-rotation format for these tests, we are going to be playing with the rule that all Pokemon tool cards are no longer item cards. This means that Chromatic will not be able to discard Forest Seal Stone or Choice Belt. Because of that, I've been tempted to go down to 1 Choice Belt. Also, the fact that Pokemon X will be out at that point. But the fact remains that those cards will be harder to get rid of, and thus you're going to want to burn them earlier.
We have 2 copies of Lost City to make sure we can Lost on Pokemon. 2 copies of Path to Peak so that we can shut off our opponent's abilities on their turn, and then we can potentially Lost Vacuum it away on our turn so we gain access to our abilities. 4 Fusion Energy, and 3 copies of Double Turbo Energy.
So fairly straightforward build, not really that radical from what we see currently. There are a few things that might be a little weird for some people, mostly the Feather Ball, but in general, it's a fairly straightforward, fairly typical build of Mew. Now, to answer Tandem's comment about Mew being built with Inteleon, no, Mew is not supposed to be built with Inteleon, despite what one of our locals has been saying and has been playing. Really should not run Inteleon's engine. That's just not how things work. And even still, even if it were supposed to be played with Intellion, Intellion does rotate. So, or at least the Intellion engine rotates. So we are not going to be suffering through such a janky build of Mew. With that said, let's go ahead and look at Giratina VSTAR. So Giratina VSTAR is a existing known quantity from Lost Origin. You have 4 copies of Comfey. So big surprise, the Lost Engine deck runs the Lost Engine. So we are going to have those 4 copies of Comfey. Comfey with its flower selecting ability to look at the top 2 cards of your deck and put one of them into the Lost Zone and the other into your hand. So good way to draw some cards and to get some of the deck's little tools built up. Giratina VSTAR, also the deck's Star Attacker. You have Star Requiem, which is his VSTAR power. If you have 10 or more cards in the Lost Zone, you just knock out whatever's in front of you, which is pretty good if you have something bulky like Giratina VMAX. And if you have already used it, or if you'd rather not, you do have access to Lost Impact, which is 280 damage, which is also still pretty good, but you do need to put 2 energy cards attached to your Pokemon into the Lost Zone. So there's that. Next up, we have 2 copies of everybody's favorite Bluebird, Cramorant. So Cramorant, with its Lost Provisions ability, allows it to attack for free, and Spit instantly does 110 damage, although it does not hit for a weakness. There is also everybody's favorite little gem-loving Pokemon, Sableye, with its Lost Mine. Lost Mine says you can use this attack only if you have 10 or more cards in the Lost Zone. Put 12 damage counters on your opponent's Pokemon any way you like. This allows you to set up knockouts on your opponent's Pokemon and to finish up some knockouts on your opponent's Pokemon as well, including some very devastating plays. This deck is also playing a copy of Drapion V, as Mew does look to remain quite popular after rotation. So unfortunately, for this particular matchup, Mew does appear to be a little bit out of favor because of the Drapion, but we will see how that goes. It could be that I start it and never ever get a chance to actually use it, but it is in the deck. For a deck that should be playing Luminion V, we do have a Luminion V in the deck. This deck definitely wants that Luminion V to have access to Colress's Experiment. Colress's Experiment will be a supporter card that we want later. We do also have a copy of Radiant Greninja. Radiant Greninja, of course, a way to discard an energy card and draw some cards with its Concealed Cards ability. Very, very good. Very, very powerful. Does get shut off by Path to Peak, which Mew is running, so that is a disadvantage if we do hit that. But, frankly, the deck is mostly unaffected by Path to Peak, with the exception of Drapion V, but Drapion V can also be a target for Mirage Gate, so that is something to be aware of. Again, Colress's Experiment, these cards are not surprises if you've ever seen a Lost Engine deck before. Colress's Experiment, supporter card, also from Lost Origin. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck. Put 3 of them into your hand and put the other cards in the Lost Zone. We have 2 copies of Boss's Orders. We do want to be able to gust whatever is in front of it, or whatever is not in front of us, rather, to the active spot. We are running 1 copy of Clara. So Ordinary Rod, at least as of what we know right now, has rotated or will be rotating out of the standard format come April. So we do not have access to any sort of item-based recovery for our Pokemon. So something like Comfey or Sableye or Cramorant. So we do want to have some way to get those back if we need to. So we do run the 1 copy of Clara. We also have 1 copy of Roxanne. So if our Mew opponent happens to place down that Path to Peak, we can go ahead and return a Roxanne to our opponent just to show them how much we appreciate their Path to Peak. We're also running 4 copies of Battle VIP Pass. We do want to make sure that we get our Comfies out as fast as possible. Get some Cramorants out early on just to have them ready to attack, because we probably can get that turn 1 Lost Provisions activation. And then we do have 4 copies of Mirage Gate. Mirage Gate is an item card, and if you're not familiar with the deck already, that does a wonderful thing. It accelerates energy from your deck. So Lost Gate says, Mirage Gate rather, if you have 7 or more cards in your Lost Zone, you can search your deck for up to 2 basic energy cards of different types and attach them to your Pokemon in any way you like. Very, very, very good card, and frankly pretty easy to get to in most cases. So even though 7 seems like a tall order, it's really not. Now, because we do not have access to Scoop Up Nut in a post-rotation format, we are very Switch heavy. So we are running 4 copies of Switch, 2 copies of Escape Rope, in addition to 2 copies of Lost Vacuum. Lost Vacuum will allow us to get rid of Path to Peak. It will also allow us to boost our numbers in the Lost Zone to get to that 7 or 10 break point a little bit faster. We also, again, really want to be finding our Pokemon early on and later on. So we are still running a couple of copies of Nestball. So Nestball is a card that is coming back to the standard format in Scarlet and Violet base set. This particular print you're seeing now is from Sun and Moon base set, which is the last time it was printed. It's been a card that's been missed. Quick Ball was very strong, perhaps a little too strong actually, and I think Nestball is a very good replacement for it. So I'm very glad to see that card back. We do also see 1 copy of Energy Recycler to make sure that if we've burned our energy cards with Radiant Greninja, basically with Radiant Greninja, we are able to get them back, or if we've had to discard them from knockouts. Again, if you find yourself in a situation where you need to get your energy back, you do have an option. Unfortunately, Training Court is rotating, so with that rotation of Training Court, you got to have some other way to do it to get your energy back, and that's going to be the option we're playing for today. We're also playing 3 copies of Beach Court. So Beach Court is another pseudo switching option. It's a retreat cost tool, if you will, but it's a stadium card. So Beach Court says the retreat cost of your Pokemon in play is colorless less. Your basic Pokemon in play is colorless less. So your basic Pokemon, that's Cramorant, that's Comfey, that's Drapion, that's Radiant Greninja, all these Pokemon have 1 less retreat cost. So Drapion will suddenly now retreat for 1, Radiant Greninja for free, Lumineon for free, Comfey for free. It makes it a little bit easier to switch between your Pokemon. So if you need to switch Comfeys, you can switch Comfeys fairly quickly. We're also running 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 copies of Grass Energy, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 copies of Psychic Energy, and 1, 2, 3 copies of Water Energy. The Psychic and Grass to make sure that we are able to power up Giratina and Sableye, and Water to allow ourselves a little bit of flexibility with Lumineon and Radiant Greninja. If we need to attack with Lumineon, we can. If we need to attack with Radiant Greninja, we can. And that's the deck. Not too radically different from our current builds. Obviously, we do lose the Scoop Up Net. We do lose Training Court. But in general, the deck hasn't been too drastically damaged. The deck is more or less intact. And we're going to see if the deck can function as well as it needs to without Scoop Up Net. So, that said, I'm going to go ahead and get shoveled out. We'll have our first game. So how do you think this is going to go? 2. I was looking at Trainer Hill before we started. I was like, how close is this matchup? Because I was like, surely it's favored for Giratina.
It's abysmal for me.
Is it abysmal? So Trainer Hill says 57% in favor. But I was like, I feel like Giratina would just ruin Mew.
I don't think there's enough data because I don't think Giratina being played as much right now. Well, that's right now.
I mean, that's also current builds of both decks, so that's also important to know. But I still think either way, I think Giratina's got a bit of a favor here, especially since it's running the Drapion. But we'll see. We'll see how this goes. I haven't played Giratina in a while, so I'm pretty rusty with it. Hopefully I don't misplay too badly. Forgive me if I do. Also, while we're shuffling up, I'm going to give you a little bit of a preview for next week. This particular card is going to be featured in one of the decks next week. So, one of these decks that we're testing right now will move on to next week, and this one is going to be the new deck for next week, or part of the new deck for next week. So, we are, of course, testing current decks first before we start testing new stuff. We want to wait a few weeks while we wait for the rest of Scarlet and Violet base set to be revealed to us. Once we know the entirety or most of Scarlet Violet base set, we'll start looking at the newer archetypes and seeing how they might be built and testing them out against each other and then against the best performers from the existing archetypes that survive rotation. So we might see, for example, Miraidon X go against Mew and see how that goes. That's a lot of shuffling, but I think we're good.
Yeah.
All right. All right. Delistify. And we are going to go with the coin flip. Heads or tails?
Tails.
It is heads. I'll go ahead and go first. And since I'm playing Giratina, I'm going to need the Relic Army. The Relic Army is going to come out to play. Gyarados actually be really cool. I'm excited for that too. Hopefully it's like awesome. If you do want to catch a little bit of Miraidon early, keep an eye out on 9-Card TCG's channel. We will be showcasing Miraidon coming up here very soon. Oh. Oh, geez, this start's not fantastic for me either. Okay, could be worse, I guess, but... Maybe I should have started this guy. Next actually really bad. I think I should have started the other guy. Whoops. But yeah. What was that?
Let's try this again.
Yeah, let's try it again. Let's see. All right, well, we take those. This might fix my situation. Yeah, Gyarados should be pretty exciting. It'd be nice to see some decent water. Although watch them print Gyarados as a colorless Pokemon. They could. It's flying type, so. I know your deck runs basic Pokemon, so I expect you to find some. I'm trying for mulligans. 1 and 2. Jeez. Drop for turn. Jeez. Well. Pass. Giratina, why are you not behaving? I know, Tandem. I'm just goofing around. I don't think Palace sounds good. I don't think you'd run it. Gardevoir has better targets. The format is not basic heavy enough to even make that really useful. And by the time you get enough energy on there, you're going to be doing at least 60 damage to it, which is already going to put it in very easy knockout territory. Here we go. Their turn. Colress's Experiment. jeez. Well, that's an easy pick. Completely missed those turn one. All right, so Mew in the active, Grammar no in the active, and I think all I can do is pass. So that's what we're going to do is pass.
Four, three.
How are you liking Featherball right now?
I like it.
Featherball's doing what it's supposed to do.
Yep. Then set to 4, 1. Just cross fusion strike Technoblast for the KO.
Shuringer over still in format. Okay. Colorless's experiment. This is so ugly. I haven't even seen a config. You know that? This feels like crap. We are going to we're gonna Lost in Perpetuity.
Reach. And just switch card back into the Mew. We'll attach per turn. Then we'll Genesect for 1.
Be my coin flip. Every time I coin flip for it, it's always tails. Okay. Lots of draw power for Mew. Draw with Genesect. Seeing a second Fusion Strike system. That's one more available. Looks like we're gonna make that. Nope. Sealstone.
Need 2 tablets, right?
You're doing 240 right now.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're gonna need to. So we are going to see the knockout on Giratina VSTAR. Unfortunately, Giratina is going to go bye-bye.
Back to the distortion world.
Well, not quite. This goes to discard pile.
That's true.
Well, the last zone is Giratina's realm. So if you're just joining us, we are looking at post-rotation builds for Mew VMAX and Giratina VSTAR. Oh, this is devastating. I can feel it already. Gearing up for that mellow at a finisher. Not even going to attack with mellow. I'm just going to copy it.
Genesect once more for 3.
There's the mellow.
Then we will cross Fusion Strike, Techno Blast for 2.
Turn. Not having any comfy still is killing me. Colorless experiment. They gotta all be here because like they're nowhere inside. I still haven't done deck search. You notice that? I haven't seen any of my search cards. that I can actually use. I think I've seen Val VIP Pass, but that's after turn 1. So
Oh, you haven't even used my rush gate.
no, I'm not up to 7 yet. I'm literally about to get there, and it's like turn what 4?
I was
So
like,
slow.
I was like, how did he attack? I was like, oh, he manual attached.
Yeah,
Oh god.
that bad. It's gonna go in there for sure. I think. Choose it too. Honestly, I think this game might be a lost cause for Giratina. All right, we're going to attach return. See if there's any energy left in the deck. Dude, 3 of my 4 comfy are in here. They just don't want to show up. Comfy playing hard to find this game. Should be able to start it no problem, and did not manage to start it this game, unfortunately. Didn't manage to get it at all. It looks like by the time this game ends, I think we're gonna just over everything. Yikes. Retreat. And all I can do is shred for knockout.
Turn.
Mm-hmm.
I'll specking away. Double turbo to get rid of your beach court. Make away power tablets. Don't use this one, right? Just, you want me to just use this one?
For 5, so that's a whiff.
Jump set 4, 3. Okay. Steady. Then we'll just jump set 4. Right. Yep. Okay. Cross vision strike.
Let's go.
Melodious echo.
Yeah, let's go again too. This was a lost cause. So on top of that comfy being prize, I also have price.
And a pass.
What was that?
And a battle gate pass.
Yeah, but I mean, I didn't hit that until turn 2 anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
still hurt your chances of starting it though. Ideally, you want to start Comfy and a couple of better VIP posts.
Yeah, well, that didn't start Comfy. Or the Battle VIPs. All right, so Giratina struggling to start up there. Unfortunately, didn't hit any comfies. Basically until I took prize cards, and at that point it was already so late in the game. I don't think it mattered. So Mew is currently up 1-0 against Giratina VSTAR. If you are not familiar with our testing streams, generally we do best of threes. We'll do 1 to 2 more games with these, and then we'll wrap it up tonight. We need to shuffle over there, are we? That mellow that was disgusting. The second I saw you attaching those energies to the Genesect, I was like, I'm so like, even if I get the Giratina VSTAR, there's no recovering from this. Oh, jeez. That was bad. I almost scooped right then and there too. I was like, no, we'll just let it play out. We'll let him see the devastation. It was so bad.
The icing on the cake is when I actually benched it.
Yeah, I saw that mellow one. I was like, yep, that's definitely what it is.
Yeah, the energies were bad. The Elisa was bad enough. I benched on the same turn, right?
Yeah, it was that same turn right after.
I used Genesect and I used my last Genesect
So
and I hit it.
Featherball seemed to have done really well for you that game. I think it did really,
I
really
liked
well.
it.
Yeah.
It's a little annoying because I can't use it to discard cards.
No,
Yeah.
but
it's a
you
little
can at
annoying.
least in your hand.
It's that.
And you can get Mew VMAX with it, which is nice too.
They didn't really help me on that when you took.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you took a knockout on that first one. That allowed me to get into my second one.
Game 2. Fight.
I'm assuming you're going first.
Yeah, I'm gonna go first. See if that'll make any difference. This is a way the fuck hand. Watch everything be prized anyway. Turn. Hey, look. Familiar? So I think in this format it's really important to get your extra comfies out earlier on. It's because you really do need to be able to switch between all of them.
Yeah.
It's not like career standard format where really 2 or 3 of them is all you need. 2 really, most of the time I think is all you need because you can just switch with the scoop up nets. But with this, you really do have to actually switch.
In this format, I think you want all 4 copies out, right?
I don't know necessarily all 4, although I don't know
4.
if 4 is bad. Because best space is kind of at a premium still. But we're going to concealed cards for 2. Interesting draw there. And we're gonna flower selecting, so we're gonna see some cards finally. 1 and 2. Not a preferable choice there. I think we are going to go with that. To go ahead and retreat. Flower selecting. Actually, I'm not sure I know the right choice here. I'm not gonna go with that. So they're talking about bringing out the Royal Army. I didn't get to use them in all last game, so it's like neglecting to put them down in this one, I guess. We're gonna go ahead and pass to you.
All right. Okay. Come out of the way, lost vacuum.
For heads, so Chromomatic is getting a heads here with a 4. So Chromomatic is going to be able to search the deck for a card, getting a Battle VIP pass. Going to play that Battle VIP pass immediately. Card is very good opening turns here for both decks. Getting a Mew and a Genesect. Surprised that the Mew Genesect would run Mew and Genesect. You flip one of those.
What is going on with my shuffling today?
I don't know.
It's not. It's just not.
Is it because the sleeves are too foreign to you, or what? Are you still using Dragon Shields, or are you on Katanas now too?
Both.
You're using a mix.
A mix. Katanas.
Yeah, I'm still transitioning all mine away from Dragon Shields. If only they could up their quality control. Or fix their formula, whichever the issue is. I don't know which it is.
Probably both.
It could be a mix of a little bit of both.
Pop those two.
It's like a magic trick. Comfy goes for comfy ones.
Genesect. Okay.
Just the card you were hoping for.
No.
Oh, another Forest Seal. The other Forest Seal Stone,
The
as it
other
turns
one.
out. Yeah. All right, we do see the Forest Seal Stone used there to get another card, getting another Battle VIP pass, deciding, you know what? I need to start. Going for...
I don't even know that's right. Yeah. I'm gonna get that.
Going for a Mew and a Genesect. Deciding it's worth it to draw more cards. Who knew that the deck that drew so many cards would want to draw cards? It is honestly amazing how much Mew Genesect draws as a deck.
I like it.
It's a little much.
No, it's just right.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, you're literally using upside down beast of markers for the freaking ability use tokens. It's ridiculous.
I opened too many Pokemon cards.
Yeah, I can tell.
Here and here.
Okay.
2 Mews.
We need Ryan here. Ryan can make Giratina do things it shouldn't be able to do.
Like starting.
Like starting 2 comfies and 2 4 scoop up nets. Yeah.
Yeah.
Crap like that.
That kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
then it,
technically he didn't start. It was like 3 and then he top decked 1 or something, but it might as well have been 4.
still insane.
It's very insane, yes. Like
Only Ryan could do that.
you shouldn't be able to get the 7 in 1 turn, dude.
Oh my god. That was crazy. I kind of don't want to. Yeah, let's spend that.
Lost City coming down. Hmm.
I was an escape rope, right? I didn't retreat yet.
You have, yeah, you've only used escape rope.
Yeah. So I got into this Mew. You know what? Just accept 4-2. And
Hmm. Deciding you don't have it, huh?
oh, I knew I didn't have it. That's why I didn't go with the mellow battle on the second battle week. But I knew I wasn't gonna get it. So yeah, we'll pass it on to you.
All right, we're going to play Colossus Experiment because drawing cards is good. Ask Mew. Mew knows. You understand.
Yeah.
Let's see. We want you for sure. You. We can touch you. You maybe. Lost vacuum. Flower selecting. Time to go picking. That's 6, right? I'm not crazy. I feel like it went up really fast. That is 6, okay.
Wow.
This is like the exact opposite of last game.
I know.
Hmm. Put in your software. Oh. Checking all the things. Hmm. You retreat. Ooh, hi. You're cool if I could do stuff. I haven't. Yes, I have.
You just did.
I just did it.
Yep, that's the one you just did.
Okay, so then concealed cards. Nest ball.
Right. Routine.
And we're gonna pass to you.
Mhm.
Funny, I feel like I'm off to a really slow start, and yet I'm mostly set up.
Yeah. Oh, what's it off? Big thing in Mew VMAX.
Featherball doing featherball things.
Mm-hmm. Hmm.
I have stuff and things in the lazo, okay?
Kind of scary, actually.
I also have stuff and things in the discard one.
I think it should be fine. We'll touch double turbo. Discard.
Mm-hmm.
Alex. Mhm. One, two, three, four. Control away, lost vacuum. Um, Look at me.
Okay.
It's probably incorrect, but I don't know.
You were dropping like crazy today.
Don't pay attention to that.
No, okay, don't pay attention to it. I got it. I got it. I won't pay attention to it, I guess. So you guys, that's too much. Mm-hmm.
Also, Giratina.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I touch return. And then Genesect for 1. Now we'll just crush the destructive bus with a KO.
Turn. Versus experiment. Power selecting. Beach court. Retreat. Power selecting. Nest ball. Giratina V.
That's what I was scared.
Hey, Far Eastern. So, Far Eastern asks, yo, how do these decks feel in post-rotation format test games? So, Mew VMAX looks A-okay. I don't even think Mew felt really the scratch. What do you think? You've played a lot of Mew.
Doesn't feel much different.
Feels basically the same, right?
Basically the same.
So, yeah, Mew barely feels anything at all. Mew doesn't feel like it's changed,
Doesn't
basically.
really care, honestly. I
Yeah.
don't think Mew cares.
I don't think Mew cares either.
I think Featherball is good enough.
And then,
Nope.
as for Giratina and the Lost Zone Engine, it does feel a little bit slower, but it doesn't feel awful. It still feels okay. And yeah, we're gonna nuke you. So far, the only thing I think I might want more of in this deck is maybe a bit more of the switch options. Because Beach Court itself, I don't think is enough. You want actual switches.
Have it. Draw one. Okay. And then Moleseko for KO.
I don't know if that started playing, but it was a play. Spit instantly.
Tablet. Boss.
Yeah, I shouldn't play
That's
that.
game.
All right, that's unfortunately an end of line for Giratina. Had a bad game one and didn't quite pull it off game two. So Mew again feels very good at post rotation. I don't think Mew is going anywhere anytime soon. Even
With Drapion.
I will say though, the Drapion could have been extremely devastating and do not have the Lost City, because I did take Clara off the prize cards.
Yeah, that's what I was
So-
trying. That's what I was trying to play against the Clara back to Drapion, because double Drapion is devastating against Mew.
Yeah, and I was hoping I could get it off, but it didn't happen because of that Lost City.
Yeah,
That Lost City
that's what I
going
was-
down changed the course of the game.
That's what I tried to play around.
Yeah,
was Lost City.
you successfully played it around. Unfortunately, I don't think that I can take 2 Drapions.
Yeah.
But yeah, so basic assessment for right now. I think Mew is in a very good spot. I think Giratina is okay. I think we're gonna do a little bit more testing off the sidelines for Giratina. We'll see it come back maybe in a few weeks. So Mew VMAX should be returning next week with its new testing partner. You'll stay tuned on the Discord server. If you're not on the Discord server already, go to justinbasil.com/discord to join. There you'll join a great community of people, be able to talk about the game, about building decks, and even be able to participate in weekly Justin Basil Online League tournaments that are available only to members of the Discord server. So again, next week will be Mew VMAX versus its next opponent, and the next opponent will be revealed then. Far Eastern said, nice to know. I've only been playing Palkia and Teleon since Lost Origin. The engine does not last after rotation, so I'm unsure what to build next in these next 4 months and then after rotation. So I think for the next 4 months, you're pretty good. Palkia and Teleon's still okay in the next formats. It hasn't gotten any worse, at least, since Lost Origin. So that's fine. Mew is still in a decent spot as long as people aren't going crazy with Drapion. Unfortunately, the one time I decided to play Drapion at Arlington, in fact, I ran into Drapion after Drapion after Drapion and could not deal with it. Everything, even Lugia was running Drapion, and it was an ender for me. What was
I
it?
think everybody was teching for Mew to control, and
They were, and I don't know that they should
Yeah.
have been, and Mew got caught in the crossfire.
yeah, unfortunately, Mew gets caught.
Yeah, Drapion. I mean, the Mewtwo V Union control definitely is a threat.
That's a threat,
But-
I don't think people needed to tap for it.
Well, here's the thing: like everything is cyclical, right? So
Yeah.
Mewtwo V Union does really well. People tech for it. Mewtwo V Union it's tech for it, and therefore does poorly, and then they don't tech for it, and then it does well again. It's the same reason Mew goes in and out, because people tech for Mew and then they don't tech for Mew. They tech for Mew and they don't tech for Mew.
If I'm being honest with you, I thought Mewtwo control was going to be really strong going into Arlington, so I was actually really scared of it.
I actually didn't think it was going to do that well
Yeah.
because people were going to be teching for it.
Yeah.
And that's a big reason I didn't take it. The other deck I was considering was actually Giratina, and I didn't take it because
Lugia matchup is
its Lugia matchup is terrible. But it's also just I knew I was going to be going into Arlington with literally no sleep and no practice, so I didn't want to have to try to survive a 2-day tournament with a deck that I didn't think I could do very well with. Mew gave me my best shot, so I went with Mew. All right, well, with that said, guys, thank you for watching. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave comments on this video, and we'll see if we can answer them. We will see you next week for the next round of testing. Thank you for watching.